Welcome, everybody, to the American Space Museum. I'm Mark Marquette, and we're so glad you're with us to stay curious with this guy, Triple T, Travis Thompson.
Hey. Yes, sir.
How you doing, my friend?
Doing good. Had a good day today.
Yeah, you did some tours, and we are coming to our Stay Curious watchers from the Hyatt Place Studios inside the American Space Museum in downtown Titusville.
Awesome.
And we are in the Hubble Gallery
Yeah.
here. With got the cosmic reef behind me.
Yep.
Happily, we were kicked out of our studio in our conference room because we've got about 8 kids in there learning a little science. And that's what we're all about during the weekdays is STEAM education. So we're glad to see that.
That's a good
But
thing.
and we're also pleased to partner with the beautiful hotel just down the road here on State Route, right beside State Route 405, the Hyatt Place Hotel, where you should be booking your next trip.
Yeah.
There, Robert and Dana will take good care of you, and we're going to be hearing more about them. We're going to have an April 16th event at the Hyatt Place that you're going to be a speaker at. We're going to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Space Shuttle dawn of the Shuttle era, where Congress approved the money on that, Travis.
Yep.
But we want to say hello to everybody out there. Welcome to our wonderful show here. We think it's wonderful, and you do too, that you're watching it on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Spotify. And with a special shout out to Barry Smith for going to be a new docent here, and he hooked us up with his friend Brian McKay. And Brian McKay is at the Massachusetts Air and Space Museum in Cape Cod, Hyannisport. Hello, Brian McKay and all your group there.
Sir.
Thank you for staying curious with us. See, Marty, not everybody chimes in that they're watching. Brian's been watching for a while, and we appreciate Brian McKay and all his friends staying curious with us up there in Massachusetts. Hang in there 3 or 4 more weeks, and it'll start warming up there. Because we ain't going to tell them how the weather's been here, are we, Travis?
Yeah, no.
Let me get you over here closer to the microphone as we're kind of doing a little bit of improvisation here.
Yeah.
Something I do well. We've got a neat little program here for you to talk a little bit about something that's outside of Travis's wheelhouse, Apollo 9, going to they were doing the all-out test of lunar module number 3. That Marty, as a Grumman electrical engineer, looked out those triangular windows when he was doing his job in that ascent engine. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about the 2 shuttles we have orbiting the Earth right now, with one of your buddies on it, an earlier flight. Anyway, we've got STS-109 with Columbia orbiting the Earth, a Hubble upgrade mission, and STS-67 Endeavour was launched March 2nd. That's an astronomy mission. So 2 astronomy missions going on right now in space history in the first part of March. And on this date, we're going to talk about STS-62 and Columbia being launched on this date in history, March 4th, with a really a neat guy as the commander, Casper, John Casper.
Yeah.
Nobody ever called him the ghost. Did you know John Casper much?
I just, he was another one of the commanders. Yes or no, sir.
Yeah, well, he was a one-time pilot and then a commander, and that's
rare.
Shows some,
rare.
That shows some chutzpah there.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got cranked up here. Of course, we're going to talk about the auctions. We're going to blank you out there, Travis, and show a little bit of me.
That's fine.
Our auction is Saturday, so please come in person if you want at noon, or you can start looking. You should have been looking already at things to register for, like your white suit there that is on sale, bidding-wise. You go to our website, go at the top, click the auctions, and take you right through the whole thing. Chuck Jeffrey, he's our chief operating officer at the museum, as well as the auctioneer, space expert in memorabilia over 30 years. He's got your...
There's a couple of things of mine in there.
We've also got Marty's jacket in there that he wore in launch control.
Isn't that neat?
A lot of early launches in that. The guys didn't dress up a whole lot in the launch room, but I guess when there was a launch or test conduction, you wanted to look your best for the pictures that were being taken, maybe. In there, always cameramen around, weren't there?
Always cameras, yes, everywhere.
Was that easy to get used to?
Yeah, you finally get over it.
But as part of your job, someone was documenting either a movie or a photo. Because I'm amazed all the time when I watch a NASA thing like for Apollo 9 that we're going to look back on space history.
Yeah.
All the pictures taken, and so it never bugged you too much.
They documented everything. No, it didn't. I had guys, of course, that had big egos. And
no way. In the space program? Yeah, a little rocket fuel there for a Friday.
There you
everybody.
go. I can smell your coffee. That's good.
There
But they had. It was always there. You were gonna have. They were documenting it.
Imagine that, where you're working, wherever you're working, someone's always taking pictures of you.
Yeah.
And you got a scratch on your nose. I'm not picking a booger. I just got a scratch over here.
You try to be careful of touching where you're not supposed to touch, and stuff like that. While you're on camera. But you also had a job to do.
Yeah.
So you had to do stuff, and you just had to ignore the cameras. But they were there, that's for sure.
Well, there's Marty. You can bid on
I
that.
love that
Hope that
guy.
makes a lot of money there. That's a size medium. Okay.
Yeah.
And but we're going to kick off our little show here. We're talking about Apollo 9 was launched March 3rd, 1969.
Okay.
So you roll the numbers on that, and that was 53 years ago. And this was so important, the first time that the lunar module had been put through its paces in Earth orbit. Now, they didn't want to go to the moon and have something go wrong and be 3 days away. So, very important mission, and here are the guys that did it. They're all still alive. This is a Mark and Tom Usiak photo at the San Diego Air and Space Museum during Space Fest in 2009. So this is a 13-year-old program, or 13-year-old photograph.
Usiak brothers do us well. We really enjoy our partnership with them.
Boy, I'll say, and and I wrote down the guys' ages, and wouldn't you know it, I left that scrap of paper. But I'm pretty sure that today, on the left is David Scott, and David Scott is 86 years old today. In the middle is, in my opinion, the great Jim McDivitt.
Okay.
Jim McDivitt is 92.
Wow.
And Rusty Schweikert over there on the right is 88 years old.
Wow.
These gentlemen are one of 2 Apollo crews still alive.
That's awesome.
So everybody out there watching, who's the other Apollo crew that is still completely intact? Think about that a minute. Jim McDivitt, I say one of the greats because he turned down flying on the shuttle, or a moon landing actually after this mission. He turned down commanding a moon landing to be the project manager of the Apollo on there, and a real great guy. David Scott, of course, become the commander of Apollo 15 and landed on the moon. And this was Rusty Schweikert's one and done mission there. And Marty, you've met him a few times. Martywinkle, our producer behind the Streamlabs here. Our Jessica, Jessica, our Trekkie Techie, he didn't have to call her today. He knows so much about what's going on here. Good job, Marty.
Yeah, good
moving
job.
Our studio into one of our galleries here. But this mission, there's the guys with the American flag, and you know what?
That's a good
I like seeing the American flag right now.
Yes.
I don't know about you, but I can't get enough of the American
That's
flag
a good
right
looking
now.
picture right there.
Yeah, I've never seen a picture with the crew holding the flag out there on photo day out there.
I cannot think of one.
So with what's going on in the world, we hope you find that apropos.
That's way cool.
This is what was going on. Was they had their Travis, when you were dealing with the shuttle, they just said STS-109 was the call sign, right?
Right.
Well, when you got 2 vehicles in space, you can't say Apollo 9. So this was the first time where they named the lunar module. They named it Spider.
Okay.
And they named the command module Gumdrop.
Gumdrop.
And by the way, this is Gumdrop behind the guys there. That is where the command module is. They call Gumdrop. Very logical that they would do that. Unlike Apollo 10, they called the command module Charlie Brown and the lunar module Snoopy.
Yeah.
And then
I remember those.
Then NASA said, enough of that stuff. We need to get serious with Apollo 11, all right? And they did with Columbia and Eagle.
Because that's when we landed. Okay.
This will be the only photographs you see of a lunar module, one in Earth orbit with the Earth in the background, and two.
Three.
Pardon me?
Lunar module 3, not 1.
Lunar module 3.
Oh, I didn't mean, I wasn't counting out. The first lunar module to orbit the Earth is, or go to space is what I meant. But it's LM3 is its tail number. LM4 was 10, and LM5 was the tail number that Grumman put on the Eagle for Apollo 11. Thank you, Marty. But you will see 4 probes on this, okay?
Yeah.
And we're looking at the windows that Marty looked out of, and you see the ladder going down there.
Yeah.
Well, they took that pole out. Those are contact light poles. Marty's going to show you there. This is where you identify it. If you see it in the blackness of space, and you see that, you know it's LM3 Apollo 9. They're afraid that would that is touchdown. When that touches, it collapses. A blue light comes on, lunar surface light. Bingo! They're supposed to cut the engine off and drop that 5 feet. None of them did. They were test pilots. They weren't going to land without the engine going. All right, but they took that away, right, Marty? Because they didn't want someone to accidentally it be in the way of the astronauts walking down.
Bend up and they touch down.
Yeah.
It poke the suit.
If it bent up as touchdown, it would poke the suit. So.
Okay.
They took that off, so there's just 3 on all of them. There's a beautiful shot. I've tried to pick some shots, Marty, that you don't see too common.
Oh,
There's a piece of the window of the command module. Inside the command module was David Scott and Jim McDivitt, and Schweikert put the LEM through its paces.
Wow.
There is that is David Scott in the command module doing an EVA, and Schweikert did another EVA on the porch of the lunar module. But he had a little bit of space sickness, and they didn't do all the spacewalks they wanted to. Marty, you hardly ever see a picture of Gumdrop orbiting Earth on this mission, do you? That's why I pointed this out. There's the beautiful Apollo orbiting the Earth.
That's way cool.
And this was a 10-day mission. Okay, they did a lot of their objectives the first few days, and then stayed up there and did some science in there. There is Schweikert on the porch. Testing the lunar suit that was going to be worn on the surface of the moon.
Okay.
You can see it looks like the real deal.
Yeah.
And what a beautiful picture, huh, Marty? I was thinking about us being in our studio instead of having to go to a room today. That would have made an excellent backdrop for our green screen there. But very historic mission.
Way cool.
Again, I got to show you the beautiful picture of the Usiak brothers. There's Gumdrop behind them, not the Usiak brothers. Tom told me that they were commissioned. They were paid to go out there to Space Fest that was being held in San Diego.
Okay.
A gathering of space loving people.
I want to go.
And they always have a lot of astronauts there. It moved to Tucson shortly after this, as the Poors took over. Kim Poor and his wife. And but they set this up for a paid photograph with these 3 guys.
Wow.
And they set up studio lights. That's why it's so well lit. It peeled off.
That's a great looking picture.
Thank you, Tom, for sending me that. I talked to him this afternoon, and then he texted me and said, "Hey, I found a picture for you."
No, we love them guys. That's
this
cool.
picture you never hardly ever see, Marty. Of course, when they had to simulate the ascent stage separating from the bottom landing descent stage.
Right.
They both had their own motors. So that was a big test of this hypergolic motor. Hypergolic means fuels that when they hit, they ignite.
Combustible.
And there's this crazy tetrahydrazine stuff and something else that would melt through metal if an eyedropper full.
Yeah.
But what a shot that is.
That's way cool.
And Marty, that may have been taken after the crew boarded the command module, and that was going away from them. Not sure.
It's just the ascent stage.
Yeah, the ascent stage, and people in Marty's Grumman group were looking over that with fine-tooth comb, making sure that nothing was damaged would be an ascent from the moon. So Apollo 9 we celebrate, and so happy to do that with our great friend here, Martywinkle. Marty just doesn't help us with Stay Curious. He's been involved in this museum for almost 20 years. He used to conduct a marathon run. and he's been known to solicit.
Not a marathon.
It's not a. It's a 8K or 6K. What do you call them?
8K.
8K. Okay, marathons are when you're real crazy and you run 26 miles.
Yeah, that.
8 kilometers is just when you
Won't catch me doing it.
I'm a little fat, but I can do that. Okay, on there. Now, Marty, I know he loves that just like I love astronomy, and it's fun that people can enjoy their passion throughout their lives. But Marty, thank you for all you do here. He really makes our program click real good. He's trying to get all of the cosmic grief in there, so appreciate that. We got 10 this month, okay.
That's way cool.
And though it is Women's Month, okay, we've got 8 women of the 41 men that have orbited Earth during this month. The only multiple is Voss.
Okay.
Janice Voss is on 2 of these missions here.
Okay.
But we already launched this week STS-109. That is a Columbia upgrade, the 4th of 5 upgrades in 2002. We have on our walls here our Columbia missions here, and we had Nancy Curie was on this mission as we're talking about Women's Month and celebrating that. This was postponed by 48 hours from March 28th. The launch was on March 28th and postponed because of a projected 38-degree temperature at the launch pad, which was the margin of unacceptable limits for wind and stuff. So they learned their lesson in the cold weather of Columbia, right?
Sure. Challenger, yeah.
I mean, Challenger, excuse me. So we had that mission going on, and then we've got another astronomy mission going on that, you know, I love that when they set up a big pack of telescopes.
Yeah.
16 days in space for Endeavour on 67, the second one in there.
Wow.
That was Steve Oswald and Will was the commander, William Gregory. Quite frankly, quite a few people that you don't recognize. John Grunsfield was on 2 other Hubble telescope missions.
Yeah.
Tammy Jernigan was up there.
Tammy, I remember her.
And Wendy Lawrence. So, of course, you remember the girls. You always remember the girls up there.
I can't help it.
But what we wanted to give a little shout out to you. This is your good friend Joe Tanner,
my buddy.
And Joe, I think, has a mission this month coming up. But your buddy there, he recommended you for the Snoopy ring.
Yep.
And he writes on here, Travis, accept your Snoopy as a small token of our appreciation for what you mean to us! ! Thank you. And he flew on 2 missions.
Wow,
and,
been a long time since I saw that. That's cool.
So yeah, there get that out of there so we can look at. I've got the inscription there. That,
No, I like
on an official Johnson Space Center illustration there. So we're
That's
keeping good care of that
cred.
for you there, buddy.
Okay, cool.
And I got this handy, so there's when you had some dark hair there.
Yeah, I did.
There's Travis.
Somebody snuck a camera in.
That was probably early 80s, right?
Early,
80s. Someone snuck a camera in.
Yeah.
Now tell us why. I guess you weren't allowed to have cameras.
No,
huh?
you couldn't, and there was no cameras on your phone like there is today. So.
Right.
But you weren't supposed to take pictures.
Right. So you helped that guy get fired.
Probably.
Is that what you're saying?
There is secret stuff in there that they don't want you to photograph. So.
Yeah. All right. Exactly. Well, here's another thing. This is STS-109. This is the Terminal Countdown Test Demonstration.
Okay.
Is that right, Marty?
TCDT.
TCDT, Terminal Countdown Test Demonstration.
Okay.
Man, I'm getting this stuff down. Tell us what's going on there, Triple T.
So what they're doing is I just handed the commander that plaque that they have in their hands. And the commander is going to turn around and put it on the diving board that's on there, right, so that it'll be seen for the next 2 weeks until launch day. That is that STS whatever umpty ump. And that's what he's doing. The commander's getting ready to put it on. So I just handed it to him. Now they're taking a picture with it, and then he's going to put it on diving board.
So the TCDT, tell people really what that's all about.
It's really a 3 days of training. So the astronauts come. That's when they learn to drive their M113 tank. That's when they
the baskets,
training in the rescue baskets, and then they also on the last day is a dress rehearsal, and we do everything just like launch day except fuel the tank.
You don't
and
tank up
launch
the ET, but do you go through T-3 hours to zero?
Yeah, we do all of the countdown just like it would be.
So the orbiter's live with everything that would be going on.
It's just not fully fueled.
Uh-huh.
But it's powered up. It's doing everything and communicating and, everything it's supposed to do.
And how many weeks is that before the launch date?
Usually 2 to 3 weeks prior to.
Mm-hmm. Same month, though.
Yeah, it was usually in a 2 to 3 week time frame. And it didn't, because you have to be able to schedule the pad to be ready to accept them doing training and doing slide wire baskets and stuff like that. So the pad had to be configured. So there was, it wasn't always exactly the same, but 2 to 3 weeks.
How about the guys and the girls that flew multiple times, like Marsha Ivins, 5 missions, and you've got, of course, 7 for Jerry Ross and Chang Franklin Diaz. I mean,
it was
the 5th or 6th time they were at a terminal countdown test demonstration. Were they like sitting there napping?
They're very relaxed.
Okay.
I'll say that. They're very.
Or they were all helpful to the rookies too.
And that's another big thing. They're there giving support to the new ones. Mm-hmm. So but they're very relaxed. They've been there, done that kind of thing, and
taking in the sights more or less.
They're taking in the sights, yeah. And you really had a lot more fun with frequent flyers.
Yeah. Would you go out there when the weather was bad? You wouldn't go out there raining on a TCDT.
Well, I have had them in driving their M113 wearing ponchos.
Okay.
So they have done it in the rain.
Okay.
But it was not a normal thing.
But we're simulating some pictures of that so we can have a good program and do kind of a TCDT. No, TCTD. TCTD. Test count. No. Terminal countdown test demonstration. That's it. Is that right, Marty? Terminal countdown test demonstration. All right. Well, I'll be a big shot at the next cocktail party, spewing that out.
There you go.
Well, we're here with Triple T, Travis Todd Thompson,
yes,
who worked 30 years or more
my office.
As and this was part of his offices there, the White Room. We've got you. Show that picture there.
Oh,
we've got, since I brought that in there.
Yeah.
There's your office right there.
Yeah.
How high up in the air? How high up above the mobile launch platform?
195 feet above the MLP, the mobile launch platform.
Which is almost 100 feet.
Almost 100 feet up, but that is considered zero level.
Yeah.
The MLP.
So there's a picture where you were. We wanted to show. Thank you.
Cool.
That's there's 109. Well, let's talk about this launch today in space history. Was STS-62, all right, in 1994. And that had John Casper's the commander. Let me get my crib notes on that. We had our good friend Andy Allen. Was a pilot for the second time. He was become a commander twice. Pierre Thought is on there.
Yeah.
Pierre Thought, Thuaot. You think ESA, European Space Astronaut? No, he's born in Chicago. He's as American as anybody. Pierre Thought.
Okay.
He's also one of the astronauts of the famous 3 that grabbed the West Star satellite on STS-49. Charles Gemar, I've heard him talk at the Space Center, and Marsha Ivins there. And here they are. And there's the launch. What a gorgeous, beautiful launch that is, wonderful. Marty. Not sure who takes credit for that, but that's an unusual angle there, Tom and Mark Usiak. And Carlton Bailey, I'm sure, is watching out there.
Yeah.
I don't see that angle with that tank in the foreground
Uh-uh.
very often. So, but here's the crew in space. There's Andy Allen, who is president of. I forget which company. It's not. Forgive me.
Oh crap!
But he is involved in space business. He was a president of the Space Alliance, the United Space Alliance.
Right.
Marsha's always showing off her hair. All right.
I always tell the girls when I get in here in the museum, I always tell them, look up Marsha Ivan's space pictures, hair pictures in space, and she does have the best ones.
Gemar's up beside her. There is John Casper.
He has no hair.
No hair. And that's Charles. That's Thought. That's Thought there beside him. Thought.
Right.
All right. In there, this was a mission that they took with them to space, a Martin backpacker guitar. And
way cool.
You musicians out there know that Martin acoustic guitars are one of the best.
Yep.
And this backpacker is something that's designed to take in a backpack and go up there.
Yep.
And there's Pierre Thought up there rocking out to it there. I love his wool socks.
Yeah.
I'd probably never take socks off up there. My feet
No,
are
it's
always
cold. It is cold. You know, I would have my socks on all.
So you musicians out there, and I spent 35 years in Appalachia, so I can already hear the bluegrass being twanged out of that thing.
That's way cool.
Yeah, and these are just some of the things that astronauts took to space.
Yeah.
Anything come to mind? Did you have to deal with anything? They usually. When did they put those on?
That's normally what we call them flight crew systems technicians. They're the ones that pack the lockers. And then they come and they bring the lockers and they install the lockers. That was not a...
so the lockers are actually removable.
Yeah,
it's a box inside of a box.
Yes.
I didn't know that, Marty.
No, so they bring the lockers pre-packed, already stowed, so that was not something that me and my guys dealt with because the lockers were installed a day or two before, several days before launch. And they're already pre-packed. So the only last minute things we did was put in, maybe they brought in oranges or live, food. And we'd have a bag of fresh food.
And live animals. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. And we did, we have launched monkeys, chimpanzees.
Could you hear them carrying on in there in the cabin as you're working in there?
These things, I had to get a primary contact physical just to be around the astronauts twice a year, and I had to have flu shots and the whole works. Then when we put these chimpanzees in, I had to get what was called a primary contact badge just to be around the monkeys or the chimps.
So that was a Saturday afternoon sitting in a 2-hour class or something like that?
Yeah, I had to go learn, something stupid. and
well, you're a primate yourself.
I get it. Well, then later after the launch and we put them in and we did our thing and I find out later when we come back and we land and I had to do the same thing, help get them out, and I did. And I find out that they all had AIDS.
Oh my God, really?
So why did I have to get a physical and they had AIDS already? Come on, that was crazy.
Well, they didn't want you to get it. They followed up later.
But they were kind of nasty. They would throw stuff at you and.
We'll talk a minute here about this astronaut, John Casper. Okay, and oh man, I forgot my notes on John Casper. I was trying to think of where he where did he grow up? He grew up in Georgia. He was born somewhere else, but I'm pretty sure he grew up in Georgia. But
cool.
John Casper, there, I'm pulling him out because, and see, I asked you, what's he wearing there?
Yeah.
Is that an orange vest over a blue suit?
That is an orange vest that he would wear on. That's part of the pumpkin suit. Why exactly he's in a blue suit, I'm not positive.
He wouldn't have been in a water tank because he was an EVA guy.
I bet this is
in Houston.
This is a Sharon question.
Yeah, Sharon. Sharon McDougal.
This is a Sharon question.
All right,
so
Sharon. You know the answer to that. You're watching. Ask us why. What's he wearing there?
I'm pretty sure that's at the NBL, the Neutral Buoyancy Lab.
Okay. Here's where I'm pointing him out. Is that he landed STS-36 right here on March 4th, okay, 1999 or 1989.
89.
He landed on STS. Has that got the date? It's 89. There it is at Dryden. He was the pilot that landed that. And then, as we've shown 5 years later to the day, he's launched to space.
Cool.
So that's the first astronaut in doing Stay Curious that I'm curious about, that he has the same date, a landing and a launch on the same day.
Wow.
And that's John Casper right here. Landed this, and then hand me the scroll there. Let's see what please. STS-36. But we're going to go to this to talk about John here. Has wrote a book, give him a little plug, called The Sky Above. All right, it's on Amazon.
Cool.
He's a Christian man, and he talks about impact of this on his life. All right, but what I brought this up here for, STS-36, is Travis. You not only did the launches, but you did the
recovery. We called it.
Can you move that over me, Marty, while he's talking? Yeah, move it over there while he tells you what we're looking at there.
So
some of the cool things there.
So
take a picture of that.
First, the truck that's right up against the forward where the hatch is in the space shuttle. Okay, so that truck is called a stair truck. Now, the bus at the bottom is what the astronauts, once they come down, once we open the hatch and the astronauts come out and they walk down the stairs, they get into that bus, and that's what takes them back to crew quarters. So and you're looking, you see the cooling vehicle back there.
Yeah, by the engines.
Purge truck, and they're hooked up because they have to purge. The vehicle is still powered up, so we had to keep it going, cool and purge. So, and then that's what's going on. So I'm sure I'm in that picture.
Wow. Well, look at this picture. Well, not that picture. That there we go again. Here's all of the things that are coming out of a shuttle on the runway. Okay, you've got the APUs are in the back, auxiliary power units are in the back, and I remember seeing the night landings on CNN. You
can see the flame.
And John Zarella telling us, "Oh, you see that flame coming out the back? Don't worry about that. That's all normal."
Right.
Because that would look pretty wicked. You could hear it.
It looked great.
Plus pumping noise, right?
Yeah, the noise. It's a living, breathing thing.
Yeah.
You know, we always thought it would talk to us. Yeah, it did. Cause it
danger areas there, unseen danger things going on right there on that aerial there.
You had to be on your toes. You couldn't just be out there lackadaisical. You had to have your stuff together.
Well, you had your stuff together. There's a beautiful shot there of another.
Cool.
That's a KSC, I believe. Now again, those booms on the back are servicing an area of the engine area.
That's one of them is cooling and one of them is purge.
Because look at all this going on back there, folks.
Yeah.
All this invisible stuff going on that you don't see. So.
Yeah. I was a boom operator one time. I was the guy that drove the boom. That was kind of fun.
Oh, really? Yeah, we told a story about that one day. Yeah. So there you are, Triple T, with your buddies after a scrub or a launch. On there, and Travis, that's Marcia Ivins, the shortest lady there in the middle.
Yeah.
Number 2, you're right beside her there, with your identical twin.
Yeah.
I keep saying they're cutting up there. But all good memories, all good people.
This was a good team. I really enjoyed it, and you could tell that we like it, you know.
Yeah.
So it was a good day.
All right.
And Marcia is a cool lady. So
she certainly is. Well, we hope that you've enjoyed our time here with Triple T, Travis Todd Thompson, and glad that you could all be with us to stay curious. Marty, we have any comments or shout outs? We do want to give a special shout out again to Brian McKay up there at Cape Cod.
Yeah.
Well, we feel sorry for him up there in Hyannisport in the Massachusetts Air and Space Museum. I'm going to look that up online there, and we thank your friend Barry Smith, Brian, for turning us on to you. We had Dave Stang, and Ophelia's watching. Hi, Ophelia.
Yeah, Ophelia.
Saltero, the Usiak brothers. We got Hillaban. All right. Hi, Ashley Kendrick. That is
Ashley.
that's my grandbaby's Meemaw over there in Tennessee.
Good job.
And Bob Swan is up in Mims. Hey, Bob. Scott Polk, you know where Scott is?
Mm-mm.
Australia. Thank you,
wow.
mate. How is your brekkie this morning, Saturday in there? Yeah. And so we appreciate everybody chiming in and watching us here on Stay Curious. Please tell your friends to like us on YouTube, Spotify, Twitch, and
all that stuff.
well, Facebook Live, where we started. We've done over 500 episodes. We are closing in on our 2-year anniversary. Our board of directors is going to have a special program for us on March 23rd for Marty, me, and you, and who's ever here.
You guys have really come a long way. Marty's doing great, and you guys are doing great. This has been
well, we got the
work
scroll
in
to help me
progress.
out here too.
Yeah.
So we
great.
love that. Well, we couldn't do it without you out there wanting to stay curious and have some content that we don't think is on any other video podcast as far as blending space history, past and future, and having such outstanding people like my buddy Travis here. Hugh Harris, the voice of NASA, 89 years old, was here yesterday, and so on and so forth. We're blessed that we have access to these people, but that's who we are. The American Space Museum, preserving the birth of the American space age and igniting the future generation of space workers. So thank you, Triple T.
Yes, sir.
For being here.
I
doing
enjoyed
a good job.
I enjoyed it.
As you can see, he's looking a lot better, and got to get a little closer to that razor next time.
Yeah,
Debbie.
well, I've been liking the mask thing, but
I hear you. But anyway, thank you all for supporting our wonderful program, and we will do it all again next time. And thank you very much, the Hyatt Place, for sponsoring our studio here. We're going to do some big programs and big things there for you at their wonderful facilities. Yeah. So, well, we'll see you again next time, everyone. So stay curious, and I'm Mark Marquette saying, I'll see you again to bridge the space between us.
Come see me, please.